Hey, what's going on, people? My name is Terrell Harris, and this is
Brooke Harris.
from the Open Box, where our vision is to make wholeness more accessible. Today, what are we going to discuss today?
We are going to briefly talk about the spiritual discipline of praying together as a couple.
Okay, so what do you want to tell the people?
Well, we talk quite a bit about spiritual disciplines, and so this year what we decided to do was to really get serious about doing spiritual discipline together, and we chose prayer. Now the thing about it is we've made attempts before at trying to figure out a discipline to do together, because we just feel like it would be important spiritually, not only for us to do stuff individually, but for us to connect spiritually in that way as well.
Yes.
And so we've had our challenges in the past with trying to figure out which thing worked for us. And so this year we decided to pray together
and be consistent about it.
And be consistent.
Yeah, we tried it and we kind of, it just didn't work. So this year we said we were going to make a consistent effort and do it every day, twice a day.
Right. And so we've probably done it, I think, since the beginning of the year, right? I think it was since January.
I think we've been going pretty strong. I think overall, just kind of getting in the mode and making it a habit. I think after like the first maybe like 30 days, it's been pretty consistent. I would say there's a few times we didn't do it, but I would say for the most part we've been hanging in there. So what do you think is going on with it?
Well, I think one of the things that if we didn't do it, let's say in the morning, we still did it that evening. So a lot of times we wouldn't miss a full day. We might miss one part of the day.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty good. For me, one of the good things is it definitely created this habit for us to do and made us be very much more aware of our day and what we are praying about, whether it's about our day, about other people, about being grateful for whatever. It's definitely helped in that regard.
One thing I realized about, because I tend to write my prayers down, and then I have different sections for different things I'm praying for. And one thing I realized in praying with Brooke, especially since it's pretty much off the top of our head, like a freestyle prayer, those tend to be more challenging on a day-to-day basis because I find myself praying for the same thing over and over again. Now, it's different for me when I read a prayer and it's the same prayer over and over again. But to actually speak one out loud over and over again, it feels kind of weird at certain times, because then I feel like I'm badgering God with the same type of stuff. But, how do you feel about the prayers?
I think to a certain extent, I can agree a little bit. I don't feel like I'm badgering God. I feel like I'm not being creative enough in the prayer. And I think it brings up the point of if anybody out there struggles with prayer in general, this kind of highlighted for me how challenging it can be to pray out loud.
Yeah.
And even though I don't necessarily struggle with that a whole lot, I mean, I still kind of have to kind of get up to doing it, as opposed to if I were writing it or doing it silently or to myself, it flows much more easier than when someone else is listening to it. Yeah. And so the fact that we're doing it every day with one another, it's like, oh, wow, okay, I really am saying this like this, or, oh, I got to think of something else, or, oh, man, this is challenging.
Yeah, so for me, another thing that popped up is, so one of my other videos I talked about trying to do meditation more often. So as we began to do this, and then as I began to read some of my written prayers, it dawned on me how much I talk to God or at God. So I think I'm also going to get back to doing some silent meditation, 7 minutes in the day, in the morning, 7 minutes in the evening. Check the other video. I challenge you to do it for the next 7 days.
What is it? 7 minutes in the morning.
No, it is 7 minutes in the evening. 7-day period. So 777. Remember that.
Yep. Instead of 666. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so this is something that we wanted to do just to build into our relationship a spiritual practice that we're purposeful about. So I guess for anybody watching, let us know what your experience is praying with someone else, and whether or not you're in a relationship, because it can be like sometimes you'll do it with someone who you're in a romantic relationship with, and sometimes you'll do it with like your best friend. Some people have accountability partners, things like that. So as long as you're consistent in doing it with someone, if you have that experience, please share it with us.
Yeah, and we want to know about face-to-face experiences, because I think for me, it would be easier to pray with somebody on the phone or via text because there's a barrier. I want to know what your experience is praying with somebody face to face out loud. Because I know for me, I used to have a fear of praying out loud in front of people. So I want to know if you have that fear, if you feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it in front of somebody, or if praying with somebody on a consistent basis has helped you to overcome that fear.
Yeah, I'd actually like to know, even if it was over the phone, because sometimes distance plays a role as well.
Yeah.
So both. So whether it's in person or on the phone as well, like what's been your experience, and do you have any positive things to say, or you have any challenges about it?
All right, that's it, right?
That is it. Just wanted to share.
All right, peace and blessings. What I want you to do is follow us on Twitter. I'm at Mr. Terrell Harris. She's at the Brooke. You could also check us on theopenbox.com. Sign up for our newsletter, hit the subscribe button, and that's it. Share the video with your friends. Peace and blessings. We're gone.